And the other thing was he was saying that he was being spied on. Yeah, they did have to look into some things to determine if he was colluding or whatever else Mueller's report said. And so I just don't think those things will hold up. Any of it will hold up. And y'all know whatever Donald Trump said, somebody mentioned the White House, what happened in the White House today. I don't know anything about it. But if Donald Trump was talking, well, we do know if he was running his mouth, if it was open, he was lying.
He's disgusting. He needs to get out of office immediately.
What happened in the White House today? I don't see anything on.
He had the president of the Philippines there. Of course, he didn't speak to the president of the Philippines. He spoke about Biden. Then he went off on Epstein. Yeah, no, he had the president of the Philippines there. And then he actually had the audacity to say that he would be okay if the Philippines, had a relationship with China. Of course they have a relationship with China. I was like, who are you to be telling another country if they have a right to do business with China?
See, all right. I was just saying, we're not going over right now what he said. I'm saying the fact that his mouth was open, he was lying.
Exactly.
I don't know what you're talking about yet. We haven't heard it yet.
I'll try to find that clip.
It's really rude. It's really rude for him to be.
Shut up. You ain't seen rude yet.
No, she's talking about Trump.
No, she's talking about me. She is talking about me in the chat.
No, I was talking about the way Trump was speaking to the president of the Philippines. I wasn't talking about you, Deborah. In the chat, I was.
Yeah, my apologies.
It's my apologies. Yeah, so no, that was not meant to be you.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to. While I'm doing this, I'm gonna try to locate that particular. If he's talking about Obama, in that particular interview or whatever, he's meeting with the Philippines. Of course, we want to see what he's saying.
Yeah, he's talking about Obama. I posted a video to the chat where he's saying that they caught Obama red-handed. Obama committed treason. They need to arrest Obama and all that shit.
When he was talking with the Philippine.
Yeah, less than an hour ago. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to find that. Dang. They're not posting it right now, and they're running something live. But I know I can't. Rewind it.
Thread videos on thread. I'll put some thread videos on the chat.
Yeah, thank you.
The news is kind of going crazy right now. I mean, after what he just said.
I'll try to find it. I'm just looking at this stuff right now, and I see. Let me just cue it up. There's something on YouTube about him being with the Filipino president right now, the Philippines president right now. Let me go and investigate it. Y'all can jump in, but I don't want to play it if he's not talking about what we're talking about right now. So let me go look at it. I'll be right back. Go ahead.
All right, everybody in the history of this country, you know one thing. So even if Obama did know something, let's not forget, he was the first African-American president, non-white president in a white supremacist country. If he did know something or say something or choose not to say anything, we all know, we don't have to ask him, we don't need no proof. He did it to protect himself, Michelle Obama, and his daughters. He wouldn't say nothing to get them hurt or killed. And honestly, I believe that's acceptable. You see, but when you have a white man in a white supremacist country not wanting to give up information about Epstein in a white supremacist country, it's a totally different thing. Whether anybody wants to admit to it or not. I mean, I'm not going to hold Obama accountable for saying something or not saying something in order to keep his family from being assassinated, as compared to a white man in this country who really has nothing to fear from the white supremacists, except for even white supremacists are not going to support a pedophile.
But Daryl, how would Obama say something? He left office in 2016 or 2017 January. Jeffrey Epstein wasn't he arrested in 2019? How would he have said something?
He was arrested under Trump's.
Yeah.
And then when Trump. But the thing is, a lot of people, I've heard other Republicans speak, Doug. If there was issues with Trump, it would have come out in the Biden, during the Biden, campaign when he was president. And the reality is that it may not have, because the thing is, just like what Gerald was saying, is that they also we also have to respect our previous. I don't know. There's an element of I don't know that level of which they make decisions around, but you have to wonder why didn't this come out? And perhaps maybe it was because they were trying to hold it back because Trump's name was exposed so many times. I mean, at some point, other presidents do respect the previous presidents of the United States of America because that's normally what our history has done, even if they're different parties. That's the shameful thing. And they created this whole conspiracy theory, so they created this whole problem for themselves. I didn't even realize that they were making this such a big issue. I mean, I think it's disgusting, frankly, like the whole Epstein thing. It is unbelievable, but I didn't know that this was part of they were actually promoting this during when Trump was actually running for election. So new news to me, but I'm not exactly happy to hear it because it's not fun to hear because this is reality. This did happen. It happened to white women, actually, a lot of them, and people, and that's why the Me Too movement came out. Not only white women, all colored women, by far, but I'm just saying it's really wrong. It's really sick, but they caused this conspiracy theory to blow back on them. And now, so that's the sad thing. And it's sad for the women, and no one's even talking about the women and the girls. And that's the saddest thing about that.
So the original arrest was actually during the the second term of George W. Bush. It was way back. And that's when Acosta, who became Labor Secretary under Trump, gave him like the most ridiculous, softest deal of all time. And completely pulled the rug out from underneath these girls and young women who had been, trafficked, raped, violated in all kinds of ways, and were looking for, some modicum of justice, and he basically screwed them over. So the story goes way, way, way back. I think it's important to remember that this isn't since 2019. Like that deal that Epstein got back in, I think it was 07 or 08, is a really big part of this, and it's telling that Trump decided to hire this guy as his labor secretary, a whole 8 or 9 years later.
And also,
he was not qualified for that role at all.
You also have to reflect too that Pam Bondi, state of Florida. That's who gave the state of Florida is who gave him the deal. He got 12 hours in prison, 12 hours to go. That was the first. And actually, I think part of that agreement was that his people that helped him were I don't know what the term is for right now. It's not coming to my mind. That's I think what Ghislaine was trying to they actually no one else. The agreement was that no one else would be have to go to prison. Is my understanding, something of that nature. A very exceptional prison term. 12 hours in, 12 hours out per day.
I think the wisest thing we can do is push back on anyone who claims to be Christian, and that is a reason for supporting Trump. Because this makes their claims of Christianity absolutely empty. And I really think Democrats in general spend too much time using knives at a gunfight. This is time to pull out the big guns, and the big guns is if you are true to your faith, you cannot support this kind of activity. And if that one doesn't work, then every man who is a father of a daughter needs to be said, what if that was your daughter?
Thanks,
Any woman.
Okay, hold on, you guys. I found the thing. So go ahead and finish your thought. I'll see.
But Marjorie Taylor Greene, I have to say, for once in my life, I actually agree with Marjorie Taylor Greene's stance. I cannot believe I would ever say that in my entire life.
I can't believe you said it right now.
Well, no, because she wants it all to come out. She's appalled by it. I mean, I don't know if you've seen her last, and actually I was quite impressed because she didn't sound crazy manic, but she sounded calm and she said, this is appalling.
We don't have to give credit to monsters. It's okay. You could be on the same side as people who aren't horrific and not give horrific people credit. It's really allowable. I don't understand this desire to align yourself with the other side in moments like this. Because Marjorie Taylor Greene isn't actually going to push for accountability. She's not actually an ally.
She actually is.
She
is the one. She is speaking up, though. I appreciate that.
Well, that's just because not every white supremacist wants to be recognized as a pedophile.
That part is true. That part.
Right. And I wonder why system, even in public opinion, right? So all these people talking about, oh well, it don't make no sense for this to come out, for that to come out. Oh well, hell, shit. Everything needs to come out. It needs to come. I mean, if Trump didn't do nothing, okay, let it come out and say he didn't do nothing. Don't just say, oh well, then no, hey, this going on here, and we was doing this, we was doing it. We need to know. We all need to know.
So Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson said.
They let you know everything else. They let you know everything else, right?
Mike Johnson.
Yeah, thank you, Deb. Deb, handle the stage for a minute while I'm trying to get this clip together.
Hey, man, she can go, man.
No, sweetheart, I'm not trying to cut you, but I just watched Speaker Johnson to the House GOP give Trump time to deal with Epstein. He's dead. Give Trump time to deal with Epstein. That's what Michael Johnson said. That's what he's saying.
How
give
are you
Trump
falling
time
for that?
That's
Why
on
are you
CNN
falling
right
for
now.
this?
It's on CNN right now.
Do you really think Mike Johnson, who owes his entire power to Donald Trump,
I don't think
who carries water for Donald Trump all the time, is going to be the person to hold Donald Trump accountable if there's things to hold him accountable for? He's the man running interference. It's like, talking about the person who's going to be part of the cover-up and being like, isn't it great?
Give Trump time
It's
to deal.
absolutely, yes,
Epstein's
what
dead.
he's doing.
Epstein is dead. Give Trump time.
I know what I'm saying is Mike Johnson. You're giving credit to people for saying in public that pedophilia is bad, which is like saying the sky is up and the earth is down. Like giving participation trophies to Republicans in this moment is maddening. Like, why would we do that? Yes, pedophilia is that is the absolute most basic standard. It's like saying murdering people is bad. Like, no, you get 0 points for that. Okay, cool. You showed up, and all that means is that you're not going to get lumped in with other horrific people who are defending the practice and not trying to expose the Johns who are part of the trafficking of girls and young women. Like, you get 0 points. Like, stop giving them credit, please.
But that was no credit. I just think it's just completely asinine that he would say that. Give Trump time to deal with Epstein. He's dead. I mean, he has to deal with what he's done, is what Trump has.
And we have to deal with Donald Trump, and we have to get the son of a gun out of office as soon as possible. Now. And I think maybe what we should do, and I will be happy to work with Lisa on this if she's interested, but if they're going to stop the House, then we should have 24/7 hours rooms in Clubhouse about this so that everywhere they turn, they cannot get away with it.
I agree. I don't mind working with anybody collaborating on this, but Alan, 24 hours. We closed our room at 4 a.m. and reopened this room because of this evidence that came out with gasoline. It's just, to me, this man has literally single-handedly destroyed this country.
Exactly.
We are the laughing stock of the world.
Exactly.
People are looking at us. We were supposed to be the greatest country in the world. And how is that possible when you have this person at the helm? How is that possible? Every single day there's some crazy, dumb, disrespectful shit coming out of the White House. We've accomplished nothing but the immigrants stopping them. Okay, I can admit that, they said no one's coming over the border. There's definitely an immigration problem or situation going on in this country. So now that the border has been tamed, it was never open, but now that they have stopped the illegal crossings are down to almost whatever they say, nothing. And who's to believe that? We don't even know if the numbers are correct or what he's talking about. Now we're shipping people all over the world. They're coming into, from what I'm understanding, they're coming into New York because of a sad situation that happened with one of the agents where he was shot in the face. So now they're going to flood New York, and I don't know how that's going to look, trying to find immigrants. And his the way they're going to do it, how the profiling is set up, is the way where you work, whatever that means, how you look, how you sound. Now imagine that going on in New York. It's going to be a shit show because everybody looks, sounds, and works in places that you would consider immigrants to be somewhere around, right? So that's going to be a shit show in itself. But other than that, what exactly has happened, except for the ingratiation of President Donald Trump and his family with money, with kickbacks, with grifts? What exactly has happened? We're getting ready to take food from people who need food in a country where the population is obese, and we throw away food like, we throw away food every day in this country. We destroy crops in this country every fucking day, but we want to make it our priority to take away, number one, food. Then number two, healthcare. In a country this rich, where we have the richest man in the world walking around here, running through our government who wasn't elected, running through our personal information, we are concentrating on taking away healthcare from people that need health care, and the parameters that they're setting are already in place right now. You do have to work to be on Medicaid if you meet the parameters. If there are other parameters that you met where you don't have to work, if you're handicapped or you're in a certain age group. So I don't know what we're doing right now here.
Hey, breaking news, Lisa. You mind?
Yeah, no, absolutely, Your Honor. Thank you.
So Mike Johnson, so the headline on NewYorkTimes.com right now is Johnson to shut down House until September to avoid Epstein vote. So basically, there was I think it's called something petition, a discharge petition. That's what it's called. And so basically, this is where House members can force a vote by getting enough signatures and without needing the Speaker to sign off on it. And so he's literally shutting down the House early for the summer break just to avoid this vote. So they're just trying to buy him time, which is bananas. Like, that is... It's gonna work. It was supposed to be until...
You're right.
I don't think they were supposed to go on break until... Was it the end of the week? I think it's the end of the week.
It won't work if we don't let it work. It's just politically, it's going to work. It's going to stir the pot, though, and it's not going to address the issue that Lisa's talking about, and that New York is about to find out, and LA knows.
But we might not pass the budget, though. Do you also understand that?
Well, they're going to, the last minute, they'll pass it again.
Wait, so does that mean that Mike Johnson supports pedophilia? Is that what I'm hearing?
Exactly.
Okay, that's all right. Let's run with that. Mike Johnson and the Republican Congressman support pedophilia.
And they're about to go home to all their districts, which is going to be such a big opportunity to protest and get in their faces. They're going to be at town halls. Like, that's what happens at August recess, right? Like, they go home to their districts and they got to talk to the people. So I actually don't know that that's going to make their life that much easier.
I think it's ambitious to think. I think it's ambitious to think that the Epstein thing will stay for 6 weeks in the news cycle.
Well, I don't think it's not going to die. It's far from not. It's not going to die.
Yeah, but think about how much new stuff could be drummed up before about it.
See, no.
Lisa,
Okay, I gotta
you know-
ask you this question. I'm sorry for the noise. This is New York City, and I got.
I'm here too, Lisa.
Wait. Oh, hey, welcome. It should be like 100 degrees today.
No, it's nice and it's nice outside. Yeah.
No, but I don't know the weather, but it's been in the 90s. So.
It's in the 70s today.
It's freezing out here. It's freezing out here, Lisa.
You're in California. Be quiet.
Yeah. But so does that mean the Democrats should be doing?
I think Lisa was going to ask a question. So.
Oh, I was asking Lisa a question. Can I do that? Okay, thanks. So does that mean that, Lisa, the Democrats are going to do an anti-pedophilia town hall tour across Republican districts all over the United States in August, now that there's a recess through Labor?
Hey, you know what, you guys? They're crazy not to take advantage of this fucking layup. But we missed a lot of layups. You know, if they don't take advantage of the fact that this shit is trying to be squashed and pushed down, and that Obama's been pushed forward, I don't know what to tell you guys at this point. You know, all the shit I'm gonna start believing about Democrats and these freaking righties are talking about. So let's see what happens.
Let's take it out of the Democrat and Republican. I mean, pedophilia, wrong is wrong. I don't care what. I'm not a Republican nor a Democrat, but I'm just saying wrong is wrong. If you try to put it back into something political, this is wrong on all levels. This is inhumane. All the stuff that's going on, and you know, you said earlier that Trump single-handedly. No, he didn't single-handedly do nothing. It's all the white supremacists in the United States who have a hand in this stuff. And it's all imploding. The whole idea of white supremacy in this country is imploding right now. They can't stop it. They're going to do everything like try to sully Martin Luther King Jr., sully Obama, do all the other kind of stuff. And I'm telling anybody who's white and think you're supreme right now, it's all imploding. Your time is over. Just give it a little more time, and there will be no more white supremacy in this land.
That's ambitious.
What do you think about it? You think no white supremacy? Are you serious? You just say that's different? There was not as we know it. This country is going to fall apart, and it's going to be white supremacy's fault. Oh yeah, it's on my brother. When you have that knowledge, your hand too.
Can you reiterate the ties to Roy Cohn? Can you reiterate the ties that they got? Yeah, sure. I don't think the people know. They need to know how connected these people are.
Yeah, that's amazing information. Thank you, Scotty, for doing that.
Oh yeah, I'll be super quick about it too.
Take your time and be thorough, because this is some amazing shit if you guys don't know it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear this. I didn't hear what Scotty wanted to say that first, though. Thanks for the reminder.
Oh yeah, I'll remind. Okay, so cool. Yeah, Roy Cohn got his start working as on the legal team of Senator Joseph McCarthy out of Wisconsin in the 50s. At the same time that J. Edgar Hoover was heading the FBI, which he did for decades. And what they did was prosecute communist entertainment actors, Hollywood, any suspected communists, anybody on the left, basically, to the point where they ran them out of their own business, they bankrupted them, and sometimes they killed them, like Julius and Ethel Rosenberg, that they ended up executing. Roy Cohn was the lead prosecutor in that execution. That was his first, really big case. Anyway, fast forwarding a little bit, we know how much the right wing in America and the FBI hated the people on the left, Democrats, socialists, communists. Fast forward to 1973, Fred Trump, Donald Trump's father and real estate developer, along with Donald Trump, were getting prosecuted by the federal government for discrimination against black people, not letting them into housing. And who did they hire? They hired Roy Cohn. Roy Cohn, again, was Trump's personal attorney and political fixer up until the time Roy Cohn died in 1986 of, yes, AIDS. And yes, he was a self-hating gay, never came out of the closet. Or on top of that, but that's a side issue. So Roy Cohn was also connected to Roger Stone, who they met in the late 70s, around 1980, to help Ronald Reagan win his campaign. And what am I missing here in connecting the dots? Roy Cohn was an evil fucking person. And he ended up, again, working for Trump up until he died.
Also, Epstein.
Don't forget about the bracelet.
Yes. Thank you. So also, on top of that, Roger Stone was also the one who ended up getting a bunch of people together to expose Elliot Spitzer, the governor of New York, so that he ended up resigning. And on top of that, Roy Cohn was disbarred in 1985 because of some real shitty activity as a lawyer. To get disbarred, it's pretty tough to do, but nonetheless, he was disbarred. But one of the witnesses for Roy Cohn in 1985 was none other than Donald Trump himself, that he went on record as a character witness for Roy Cohn. At the same time, Roy Cohn was also Alan Dershowitz's attorney as well. Alan Dershowitz is all over the Epstein files as well. And on top of it, Roy Cohn, who ended up dying penniless because that's how he wanted to, and he also owed the IRS a lot of tax money because he was a scumbag and avoided taxes, he did leave one thing. He had one thing to his name, which was a diamond bracelet. That diamond bracelet was left after his death to none other than Donald Trump. And I think that's part of the story.
Now, Roy Cohn is someone who told, I'm going to let I don't know too much as Scotty does, but I do know that he talks about Roy Cohn all the time, and Roy Cohn never told him never to admit to anything, to lie until the lie becomes the truth. That was Roy Cohn, and there's a couple of biographies out on him. He was the original fixer, Scotty, right? Before he hooked up with, he was Donald Trump's original fixer. There's a lot of great, he taught Donald Trump everything he knows how to be a scumbag at the highest level. And then came his other fixer later on. So
my mom, she often would tell me this story. Just keep in mind, because we used to live near Trump Village. My mom always told me about this story where his dad had an attorney be his mentor, and she talked to him. My mother been telling me this for years, like even before he went into politics. My mother would always tell me this. So now I'm hearing more details of the story. I never dived into it. The most diving I did into Mr. Trump was his original name, which was Trump. And when I go back to his great grandfather, he comes from a long line of Dodge drafters. And they left the country under scrupulous circumstances. I mean, if you begin to look at the lineage of where this came from, you will know that this is why he's become a subject matter expert at what he does. This did not just happen overnight. He was definitely groomed. And I believe my mother said that the attorney who was doing the grooming she said he was a homosexual. And she does, my mom would tell me this for years. And my mother's not even into politics, but she always told me these stories. So now I have the other piece of it. Good job, bro. That was Scott that did that?
Spirit, yes.
Oh, thank you. Good breakdown.
It's all documented. There's plenty of evidence of it.
Yeah, no, but it's good when one of us has gone in and done the research and the homework and brings it to the floor, because we actually can tell, like, when somebody does that. So that offers a lot of value to the room, like when we lock in on something to bring it to the stage. Thank you.
I think the connection that's important that we talked about last night, Lisa, is the fact that this is a very small group of people, all interconnected for decades and decades and decades. So we all know how scummy the FBI is. Well, J. Edgar Hoover was the head of the FBI, was a building in his name for decades and decades and decades. And Roy Cohn was part of that machine. So I don't know if you're thinking the FBI is gonna be doing kosher shit in the late '60s or even up until today. I don't know. You better get your head checked.
Yeah, because isn't it funny how even John F. Kennedy couldn't get rid of J. Edgar Hoover?
Yeah.
John F. Kennedy couldn't even get rid of him. He had to hold on because of the shit that he had and the way he was moving in the FBI. He tried his damnedest to get rid of that man, and he couldn't get rid of him.
Oh, right. And separate from that, Roy Cohn had a lot of evidence. I mean, the FBI, as we know, taped everybody. But Roy Cohn also was suspected and maybe even convicted, I'm not sure, of blackmail and all this other stuff, because he had a lot of evidence on a lot of people. So these people have been scummy and connected for time, and Trump has been in that cycle, and for a very, very long time. This isn't new shit just because Trump became president in 2016. This has been going on for decades.
Yeah, because he couldn't get where he wanted to be, and that was with the elite of New York. And he is not the elite of New York. He could never get in with that crowd, with that old money, the people, the movers and the shakers. So that's why he ended up going to Studio 54 and hanging out with the rappers and all this kind of stuff like that. Because, like they said, he was socially awkward. They didn't come from old money. His father's background was sketchy as hell. It's just a lot going on. So Trump is no fucking anybody to emulate. Look, we don't have to keep going over and over the stuff that he did while he was reporting, supposedly running his empire. How he screwed out so many little people and big people for that. But he's just not a decent person. And to come to find out now that he spent most of his formative years allegedly dealing with minors, this guy should have never, not only been nominated, but to actually be in the White House now is a disgrace to the country. That's all I have to say.
Right, and just adding to that point, Roy Cohn also represented mafia bosses Tony Salerno, Galante, John Gotti, Mario Gigante, and also George Steinbrenner.
That's
correct. New York Yankees owner for decades. So, and also the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of New York.
And no, truth be told, guys, hold on, but real quick. Truth be told, guys, is this, right? He actually runs his organization, his administration, like a mobster. He uses terms like "don't rat," "stay low." Like, look at the kiss the ring. The whole thing is based on mafia style rule. Like, just look at it. You guys can. It's not even hard to put the pieces.
Oh, it's gangsta stuff. I mean, this is all gangsta.
Yeah, it is gangsta.
It's our new America. Welcome to America.
Yep.
Lisa, I don't want to compete with you in any way, but if you know when you're going to be, basically when you're going to be done with this show, I will put up a room called Mike Johnson Supports Pedophilia, but I'd like to not compete with you. Do you have any idea?
I have no idea because we have a thing with politically correct tonight. We still gonna, like I said, we can still have people send people your send people your way, and you can go ahead and announce the time that you're gonna do it in this room, so then you can get the people who are interested in being there. They can.
Okay, but my main objective is to make sure that regardless of when someone comes into Clubhouse, we aren't taking away from each other. Regardless of when somebody comes into Clubhouse, they can find this kind of information. That's my objective.
I appreciate you. It's nice to know that we can work together on this, but I don't have any time right now. But I'll let you know. I'll come to your back channel and
yeah, we can think about it. There's no rush.
After the Steve Colbert stuff, if you saw all Jimmy Fallon, they all, after all this madness that's going on with him corrupting every industry that we have, I mean, I don't see how we can't get him out of the house at this point, because this is honestly, he's coming from all angles. This is how bad those Epstein files are.
Yeah, and the mere fact that we are going to go on recess after they requested or subpoenaed. So what does it mean? Are they not going to go and talk to her until, when are they coming back?
After Labor Day.
Oh, hell. Are you serious?
That's why I said, Lisa, they got 5 weeks to come up with all sorts of stuff, plan for strategy. Yeah, this will look totally different after Labor Day.
I remember. Go ahead, boss.
No, real briefly, what comes to my mind right away is, hey, what's going on, family? What comes to my mind, shout out to Lisa holding the room down and Scotty, everybody, just more information is the only thing that's going to save the masses of the people. The less information is like public enemy number one. But number two, let me just say this, Maxwell, Ghislaine. How do you anticipate that conversation between them being? In suicide soon, that would fit the narrative that everything happens a certain kind of way. Because now they know she got some smoking guns. She and Comey, the one that prosecutor, knows a whole lot. So when you start seeing people, oh, we don't need Comey anymore around at all. We don't take the mic from a lot of people, because I think that's the number one fear that he has, is the connectivity. His connectivity to all kinds of, like you're talking about right now. That coming out, that'll force people to go down certain roads and have certain thoughts and certain conversations. And that scares him more than anything on this planet. And I think that's what, like somebody brought out, who he's afraid of.
What?
He got some people he's afraid of. Contrary to what he tells, contrary to what he tells.
Talking, see, let him finish talking. I'm tired of you interrupting people like that. Cut it out.
Yeah. Contrary to how he tries to sell the world on he's the bravest thing ever walked Earth, he know there's some folks that he don't want to be on the bad side of. I'm sure of that. We're hearing that in this conversation right now. He know that there's some powers across this planet that was mentioned, just trying to Scotty, whatnot, that are coordinated, been coordinated, not just for decades, for a long time. And as the planet now is hungry for the truth, MAGA, not those way up there. They're not so hungry for truth to come out. But yeah, so go ahead and go to Battle of Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch, and because in that process, bring it all out. The masses want to see what's really going on. They want to see the Wizard of Oz. Pull the curtain back.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Well, it's not going to happen that way, but it's happening. Trust me, there's a lot more coming out now than there's ever been out across the masses of the people and technology. And so, the full story, I get your point. Maybe certain things won't. But people, one thing people learn, believe it or not, they're not stupid. Believe it or not. See, at the end of the day, it's like truth. Okay, I know you was going to go. That's why I had to preface it with saying, believe it or not, I knew you was going to go there.
Hold on. I just go right into it. My 10 seconds comment, exactly. I was surprised how quickly all the MAGA influencers just switched when he started mentioning Obama and Hillary Clinton and arresting. So a lot of them are forgetting the Epstein thing and they're focusing on that. So the stupidity level is.
But a lot aren't. Focus on the ones that ain't dropped it just yet. And Mike Johnson getting kind of scared too. He falling in. You see, so where's Bongino? What's going on, Bongino? What's been happening? Bondi. So those pressing questions, because see again, there's a government of the people, by the people, for what? For the people. And the people is 330 million. So like he said, that's a very small percentage. That's on the list, quote unquote, but that file is all things related to Maxwell and the case and all these other people. Why is she doing time? Them questions ain't gonna leave history. History books ain't gonna let that fade away. So, but because the masses, they're way bigger than the elite top, and the masses is catching hell on Earth right now. That's a different time. So you can think it's all business as usual if you want to, but trust and believe, they on the run.
My prediction is that just laying back. There's a guy I cut off. Sorry, Tuesday. There's a guy I cut off.
What you wanted to say?
She's prevailing. It will just. I think it's ironic the dichotomy of that he's releasing all these files regarding MLK and JFK, but at times the irony is he wants to be known as this person who's trying to rewrite history. All this is going to come out in time, whether or not he's alive or not. And it's unfortunate that we have to go through this. And I'm sad for our country to stop.
Being that this is about Martin Luther King, Martin Luther King did one of his speeches. He said that the United States is going through the process just like ancient Rome. After Caesar was assassinated, all the other leaders that came behind tried to do something, were all crazy, tried to do something to try to save Rome, but Rome eventually, after some time, Rome eventually fell. And he said the United States of America at that time in the 60s was going through the same process. Now, the thing we have to think about also is once Trump, whether he leaves office or passes away from natural causes since he's about 80 years old, who's going to be the leader after him to try to save this country from imploding and being destroyed?
current shifts that's happening in the country as well. Populations are changing, densities are changing from various states like California and New York to southern states. You've got a conservative swing from the younger voting demographic. So I think what you're going to see is you're going to see brand repositioning for the Republican Party to a younger demographic, issues that reflect more of their concerns. And I think that's also going to contribute to the safety of the country. Furthermore, on the topic of Epstein, I think Ghislaine Maxwell will get a pardon. I'm fairly certain of it. She'll get a pardon. And the Epstein issue will go away around the midterms because the Democrats don't know how to.
I agree with that. But TC, I do disagree with you on one thing. You said branding. Rubio's 5'7". How do you think he's going to end up being elected president?
So Rubio has positioned himself as a national security advisor, as the Secretary of State, as the chief diplomat for the United States, chief intelligence representative for the United States. I think he's established himself as a very competent legislator and negotiator. I think he's notched enough wins for the Republican Party to give him a second shot. Not only that, Napoleon was short, so.
He watched Elon Musk. He's been watching this whole thing with Doge. He's got front row seats to everything.
Well, I have to announce that CEO said that the Manchurian candidate is
J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance will win the nomination.
No way.
A lot for him to not win.
Anywhere.
J.D. Vance, I guarantee you, J.D. Vance is going to have a snowball's chance in real. Now, here's the reason why Marco Rubio's got it, right? Not only
Marco Rubio has got any day. Like you're saying,
Okay, so I want to see it.
Y'all ain't got to get off the mic. Thank you, Patty, please, because we can't hear. When you guys are all talking, believe it or not, we can't hear. Go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, so TC, go ahead. I just want you to make a electoral argument, not just who you like more.
Yeah, so we know that in the last election, when anybody had a chance, it was actually Marco Rubio that came the closest to the nomination, barring Ted Cruz.
It was actually John Kasich. John Kasich came in second in 2016. That's the data.
No, but I'm talking about the wins of conservative states. Marco Rubio next to Ted Cruz had the most delegates. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong.
John Kasich did. John Kasich had the most delegates after.
We know John.
You talking about 2016 or 2020?
We're talking about 2016.
Well, I think Marco Rubio's got a lot more current resume 2024 than right now. I think that means. I don't think Kasich is coming up.
No, I wasn't talking about Kasich. I'm talking about Vance. I think Vance will get the nomination. He has more of a resume than Rubio. He's a VP.
Be interesting to watch him fight it out.
All right, to reset the room, you guys, this has been a great conversation. We opened up this room this morning versus our evening room to talk about what's going on here with I'm gonna say her name right, Ghislaine, and the situation with her and the connection that it has with Trump and the later connection with MLK. We haven't even got on that part yet, and as well as Obama. This is 100% disgusting that they would leave this shit open until September, but I really don't think it's gonna go away. They might think it's gonna go away, but everybody's gonna be talking about it. What else could we be talking about? They're in recess, so what did they leave us with this hot ass mess? So we played a clip giving you guys a history of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, and then moving it forward, she has always said, and now you guys admitting that she's gonna get a pardon. God dang, how things are changing from day to day.
Lisa, can I make the final? Lisa, can I make the final dot connection just to reiterate? I know people know this.
Please do.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't know.
Because I want to, connect it, the whole FBI and Roy Cohn and, of that, and Epstein. And the point being is that Alan Dershowitz, who we know is a staunch and always has been a staunch Trump supporter, who has also been a client of Roy Cohn as well, was also the defense attorney for Epstein in 2007, as we know, who was able to get the plea deal for Jeffrey Epstein in 2007, 2008, where the prosecutor was was it Alex Acosta, who was the prosecutor in Florida at that time, who was able to give Epstein the plea deal with Alan Dershowitz as a defense attorney. And then Alex Acosta was, of course, appointed as labor secretary for Trump in 2017, and he served until 2019, where...
Wait, y'all didn't hear anything I said?
Let me just finish. Who was ultimately connected to the Epstein case so much, and when Epstein killed himself, he removed himself and resigned from the Trump administration. So I just want to make sure all of those dots were connected. Alan Dershowitz is still on the Epstein list, very close to Epstein, of course, and has been for years, and that's the connection.
Wait, you guys didn't hear anything I said? I was talking for the last 2.5 minutes.
No, because I was talking and you were on mute.
No. Oh my God, are you kidding me? I was answering the CEO's question of why Marco Rubio is more qualified or he has a higher likelihood of becoming the Republican nominee than any other candidate, especially J.D. Vance.
So reiterate, we didn't hear.
But can I ask you a question, TC?
Damn, bro, I was going into it. Okay, I'll be brief.
When you say that, let me answer my question and then continue with what you were going to say. The question is, when has a current sitting vice president who has not become the nominee of that party when they are eligible to run, when their boss, the president, is no longer running? When has that happened?
You'd have to go back decades, right? So the only vice president to assume the position of president is Joe Biden, right? So you'd have to go back. And the last time we nominated a vice president, you'd have to go back decades.
Yeah, well, Joe Biden didn't run and wasn't the party nominee in 2016.
Exactly. That's the point.
Saying which VP has not become the party nominee after his boss has stopped serving.
Literally, you'd have to go back decades. I mean, George Bush's vice president didn't get the nomination. George Bush Senior, Reagan. Who was Reagan's VP? I mean, now we're going back
Bush.
50 years.
And he became the nominee and he became president.
Right, exactly. So you'd have to go back decades before that ever happened. As a matter of fact, the only vice president to get the nomination in recent political history is Joe Biden. That wasn't even following.
But he wasn't the vice president at the time.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. So you're adding to my point. That contributes to the reality that the likelihood of J.D. Vance.
Yeah, that means that J.D. Vance is more likely to be the Republican nominee.
No. You're wrong, dude. You're wrong. You have more recent experience. You have more recent history of senators and secretaries of state getting the nomination than you have of vice presidents, especially vice presidents that follow the president. Even governors, you have more recent history of governors getting that with George Bush Jr.
But when the vice president was running, I'm talking about when the vice president is actually running.
You'd have to go back decades. Did you hear what I said? You'd have to go back decades. Probably more than 40 or 50 years.
Okay.
You'd have to go back before that happened.
So you don't have an answer.
Dude, are you dumb? Are you on crack? Did you hear what I said? You'd have to go back decades.
Richard Nixon was the
call him names.
I answered this question 3 times. I said you'd have to go back decades.
Just actually the name of the person. That's it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he didn't hear me. I said you'd have to go back. Okay, all right, fine. I don't have to answer. Fine. I'd like to finish if I could. I appreciate it. Again, you'd have to go back decades. No, he's not. You'd have to go back decades. Excuse me. Can you go on mute, please, so I can finish what I'm saying? Thank you. So it's a very obvious observation. What he's pointing out contributes to my point. That is highly unlikely that a vice president gets the nomination the year after the president leaves. You'd have to go back 40 or 50 years before that actually happened. Barack Obama's vice president didn't run for president. Donald Trump's vice president ran for president and lost. So again, you'd have to review that reality as well, that vice presidents have run and lost in those elections.
No,
not only that, you'd also have to you have to grapple with the reality that we have more recent history that secretaries of state has gone on to successfully get the nomination, like Hillary Clinton, okay, and run successfully. Not only that, you have to realize that J.D. Vance was a junior senator from Ohio, doesn't have the same name recognition that Marco Rubio has, doesn't have the same popularity that Marco Rubio has. They remind you, Marco Rubio got like 98, 99 votes in the Senate. For his Senate confirmation, continues to be one of the more popular secretaries of state in the Republican Party, going back decades. Now, you also have to grapple with the reality that J.D. Vance has been sidestepped and sidelined by this administration, particularly by Donald Trump. Donald Trump hasn't given him any type of political wins. Marco Rubio has amassed relative power in the administration. Not only is he Secretary of State, he's Director of National Intelligence, and he's assumed those powers given to him by the president. Donald Trump is essentially giving him the rubber stamp for the Republican Party.
But he's
for those reasons.
I agree with you.
Hold on, see. You also have to read. See what the fuck is going on. Why are you like a rabbit?
Don't do that, okay? You can't talk over people. You just can't. Because you want the same respect when it's your turn. You can't. Save it, hold your breath, and save it until they land. Go ahead, TC.
Not only do you have all of those things going for Marco Rubio, but he's a former presidential candidate. Former presidential candidate. JD is not. I have a call at 2 o'clock, guys. I gotta go.
My reason why I said Marco Rubio, first one to come off the mic, let me just say this real quick. The reason I threw Marco Rubio in there because I'm watching him become MAGA-tized. He is sitting there watching. If you watch him in the backdrop, every time you see Trump and he's in the room, just watch him. And you don't see him in the news, and he's falling in alignment to keep MAGA going. Not the Republican Party. I don't know what the hell the Republican Party is anymore. MAGA-tized is what I'm watching. Marco Rubio is knowing how to just keep his mouth shut, keep the expression as much as he can off his face, and just looking around, watching all of this happen. And so, if anybody can pass the keys can receive the keys to what's being created, and we see how the next few years will play out, or three plus years. That's what to me we're checking out.
Maybe TC has a hearing problem. Maybe other people do. I don't know. I said if J.D. Vance is running as VP for the nominee of the party, it will be him, unless somebody can point me to when a VP ran after their president was no longer eligible or resigned, unless you can point me to that where a VP did not win the nomination of their party right after becoming VP, then yes, then he will become J.D. Vance, the nominee of the party, unless he steps aside because the powers that be want Marco Rubio. So that is the question. But if J.D. Vance runs, he will be the nominee unless you can point me to another time in history, in modern history, where this has not happened. And I can't find.
But did it happen to Trump's VP?
He didn't run.
I thought he ran.
No, that was Mike Pence. He was probably worried about being hung by the gallows or something with January 6th. He had other things on his mind.
Trump was running again.
Well.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, I'm saying there isn't. And Biden's not a good example because he didn't run in 2016.
This point is historically accurate, and it's important to recognize that up until 1949, the two-term law did not exist. So he's only looking at I'm putting up a room at 4 o'clock Eastern saying no more middle ground, Mike Johnson. And if you go until then, I will try to keep this topic alive in Clubhouse. I'm not telling you to or anything. I'm just letting you know what I'm doing. I don't want to compete with you. I want this to be in the front and center of Clubhouse as long as we can get it there. Thank you.
Mike Pence was running during the time Donald Trump was running the first time. That's the confusion. After Trump won the first time, Mike Pence did not run. It was only during the first round that Mike Pence ran against Donald Trump before he was elected the first time.
Yeah, in terms of J.D. Vance, and the way Trump turns on people, I don't know. We'll see how if he don't turn on J.D. In the days to come.
You guys are conflating primaries with the general election. Mike Pence did run in the primaries, but the gentleman's point is correct about the final, and that's all that really matters here.
Actually, I have to say, I think actually the reverse. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if J.D. Vance changes on Trump, because that's what gold digger he is, to be quite frank.
Well, I'm saying, if he turns on Trump, Trump gonna turn on him. So it eventually gets thrown out. So I'm talking eventually. I'm sure the odds in Vegas are already there. Who's gonna be the next? I'm sure they got some odds on that. So that's a debate from now on. But I didn't want to get stuck in the weeds. I know. TC had a lot of energy on winning the argument per se, but I wasn't invested that deep into that part because it's bigger thought. But yeah. Anyway, back to the reality of where we are. Seems like New York is going to be in the news a lot coming up between Mamdani and again. I brought up yesterday. I'm curious to see how that plays out. That love and New York, Mamdani, he already kind of has a certain pulse of New York, and definitely not on the beaten path of business as usual. A lot of top people from different religions and everything got a problem with him, but the masses of people, Cuomo, Mamdani.
Don't change New York City. That's all I ask is that please don't, honestly, please stop ruining our country because
ICE is on its way.
All I have to say is that's why I'm concerned about that next, because that's the next target is Manhattan, New York.
Tom Homan is coming soon. Tom Homan about to show up if he ain't already there, and his crew. So yeah. You'll see West Coast, East Coast, how ICE has dealt with it. And history will speak about ICE, the ICE age, maybe to some extent.
Well, maybe we should put them on ICE. ICE, baby. This is not acceptable. Don't change Manhattan.
Yeah, popcorn season. It's going to be a lot to see, in my own opinion, in the days to come.
Okay. I had this clip I want to play here. I found the one that you guys are talking about with President Trump in the Philippines. I hope this is worth me spinning in the room. But it's Trump today in his in the Oval Office meeting with the Philippine president. Is this the one where you said he talks about Obama and MLK? I hope this is the one because I'm getting ready to spin it real quick.
Yeah, that's the only time he spoke today, as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Anybody else have anything to add before we listen to this clip? Because it's kind of lengthy. Get your points in real quick, and we'll go to this, and then we'll come back around and open up the floor again. But this, as far as I'm concerned, thank you for the vacation, the early vacation, so we can continue to talk about this whole situation. We can keep it going without any other shit coming up to interrupt the flow. I'm happy, kind of. I feel good about them leaving early, so then that way they don't start throwing more shit out there to distract us from what's going on with gasoline, with Trump, with Epstein, with MLK, because we're going to have to go through that whole situation and suss that out. And I'm glad they took a break, so we don't have to have more bullshit coming out of the White House for a while.
I don't agree, actually. They're buying time, actually. I don't agree with that, actually, at all, because
why are they buying time
she's going to meet with Maxwell the next couple of days. A pardon's going to be given to her. I mean, this is.
She's going to get a pardon before they come back.
She's going to speak, and this is not going to go away. She's going to speak, and the pardon, and the story's going to make Trump look not so bad, and everyone else, and they're going to target people. I assume that's what's going to happen, and it's really unfortunate. It's really.
You know what? And I hope she don't set herself up to be a fucking liar, because
she's not exactly honest. What do you?
I don't say.
She's in prison. She's either going to die in prison or she's going to get out. It's one or the other. She doesn't speak nice.
She's going to die. This woman got 20 years. I don't know how old she is right now, but she's not on death's door. They taking pictures of her.
If she's going to finish,
no, see,
she's going to get killed in
prison. That's cutting me off. What's going on here? We got pictures of this lady jogging around the fucking prison yard. You acting like she's on death's door.
She's 63. She's
63. We got people walking around here 90, and if she's 63 and she's jogging around the prison, unless somebody does something to her.
How old was that when he supposedly?
I don't even get it right now.
Well, did he get killed, or did he actually commit suicide?
We're not dealing with Jeffrey Epstein right now. Okay, we're not. This is not what we're dealing with. They already know that there's some conspiracy, or they feel that there's some conspiracy around his death. So you're gonna do it twice? I don't understand that. Maybe they will, but I don't think they would, because it doesn't make sense for her to die too. Does that make sense? You think that's gonna quell any conspiracy theories and all this kind of bullshit? It just will get worse.
I think the last thing Donald Trump is worried about is conspiracy. He don't want nobody around that's gonna talk. Period. Point blank. So it wouldn't be out of my imagination, as I hinted to earlier. That shit. If she come up finding her shoelaces, I don't know what. I'm not Nostradamus. I don't know what they'll do. But all I'm saying, if it did happen, I doubt that she committed suicide. If the report come out in a couple of days, all of a sudden she just pressure got on her ass and she committed suicide. That would be consistent. That would be consistent with a lot of shit.
Exactly.
And with her slip-on shoes, she committed suicide with no shoestrings. That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Well, let's see. I just don't. I don't see it happening, because they don't want all these people in wherever these maggots do. They don't want them jumping up and down about gasoline. It will be over. This will go. You talking about this is going forever with the conspiracy theories and stuff like that, and all this jumping up and down on X and Twitter and whatever. I just don't see it. If you guys see it, I can roll with you. Only so far.
I'm with you, Lisa. The idea that you're going to try to quell everything that's going on by either targeting her or killing her, like either one of those is insane. Like that is like just the most gasoline you could possibly throw on the fire. Especially right now, when the story is spiking again, like that would be. And then the other thing is if she really does know something, you think she doesn't have some setup where if she does get killed, everything gets released? You think they just kill her? Like this is not that time. Like the thing, like let's say there really are people who want to kill her. The thing that's keeping her alive is her silence. And in death, she doesn't need to be silent, right? And I'm sure, this is not that hard. Like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, let me just tell you what it makes sense to me. We just watched people be subpoenaed to this case, supposedly RICO, right? And people got subpoenaed. And guess what? When you get subpoenaed, and you gotta tell the truth to them, and you're under a different kind of position. So maybe it does behoove the FBI to get to her ASAP. Like, look here, girl. Let me tell you something. You're still alive right now, but understand something. There's some information that people might start coming around real soon here, asking about some stuff. And look here, because sometimes it ain't a smoking gun; it's connecting dots. That spirit's talking about little earlier. And anything that can solidify some connectivity of dots is kind of it has to be done kind of clandestine. If you got someone locked up already, you can holler at them and do certain things that the world ain't watching those things. you and me or whoever, you might go live or whatever. See, the thing, the fear is fear. But the truth is, some people are scared of that. They don't want truth coming out. And certain people do know who all was involved at certain things. If you get the list, I don't. There's individuals walking this planet right now that know people that know people that know people that can bear witness to some shit. That has some weight too. And so, that's all I'm saying. They got to keep that can, whether anybody ever gets the list of CEOs or the file, or that don't mean people that walk around this planet that still, that wasn't like 1,000 years ago. They still mamas and cousins and friends, and people know people that knew people that was talking about real stuff a few days ago. And so, that's all.
You're proving that point. You know what, we all got our theories, and none of us know for a fact. But I know that this woman got leverage. That's why she told them to come see her. That's why she told them she ain't gonna be talking about nothing but what happened on these islands, in these mansions, nothing. Okay, that's all they want to hear anyway. And then too, whatever thing she did before she got caught, when she left, when she knew she was on the run for quite a while, she gave that information to somebody else. She always had records. If you're doing any dirty, low down, underhanded shit with people who are that level of power, you write that shit down. Because I'm telling you, if Bill Clinton came through, the Prince came through, all these people came through, you think I'm not keeping records? You lost your damn mind. Especially when they go in there doing something nefarious and I can hold it over their heads. I mean, no, it's going to be records that you came through and you had some interactions that you shouldn't have been doing. And she put them away when she went on the run and they found her up in that, wherever she was, in some cabin somewhere in the middle of nowhere. Right? It's just impossible. So either she's going to try to dump Trump, or she's going to say, okay, if I shut up, we're good, I need to get out. And I think at that point, she's going to leave. Now, whether they get her later on is a whole different story, because she has ties. Where's she from, Your Honor and Scotty? Where's she from?
She's British and France citizen, and she grew up in a mansion, I think, outside of Oxford in the UK, I believe.
So she has somewhere to go.
Oh, she's got money. Like, she's got money. Her family's got money. She's got money.
Hey, Lisa.
She doesn't want to be in prison.
Lisa, do you think the Justice Department has any instruction possibly from Donald Trump? Or you think they just independent?
Now, that's a good question, sweet. I would think that since he's running Pam Bondi, he convinced her dumb ass to bring up the Obama shit. She convinced her to stand 10 toes down and saying that Obama is sedition and treason. She convinced for her to come out with her chest out and say that she has evidence that he needs to be criminally prosecuted. Yeah, I believe they're talking, but what they're talking about, I don't know. Like, is she saying, go there and tell her if you don't keep quiet, you won't make it to 70? I don't know what they're saying. Or I just don't know, because it's so convoluted. This shit is convoluted.
I agree. It takes a quick mind to be able to keep up with a lot of these moving parts, for sure. Anybody, whoever. But I don't know either. I can control that. But again, we back to just what makes logical sense. I don't think, if you're reporting on it in Clubhouse and CNN has talked about it, for me to think that Trump don't know about it and he just like, oh, that ain't none of my business, I'm busy with Alcatraz over here in alligators, and he ain't having no conversation with the quote-unquote Justice Department, that don't stand to my logic, but hey, whoever else want to think on it, this is your thoughts. I
mean, we know they're not independent. I mean, they've shown that over and over and over again now. I mean, like, how many actions have they taken that are clearly in Trump's, orders? Like, it's not even close. I mean, if you think about just, like, the guy who was nominated to be a U.S. attorney, Emil Bove, I think they say his name, who was Trump's personal attorney, and he then appointed to a judgeship, like a permanent federal, like, circuit court. Like, there's nothing that's independent anymore. Like, none of it. All the people, like, it's an inspector general, it's just supposed to be one of the most independent roles. did too much, they've already been fired. And now they're not doing anything. Most of them aren't, at least. And they will get fired if they do too much. Like, we can stop pretending that there's any independence in the government at all.
See, to me, where it gets juicy is there's other employees working probably wherever they're holding her. I don't even profess to try to even know some of this stuff. But it stands in my basic logic of just life that there's other people working there, and when they show up, and people are, inmates. I don't know if she's isolated off on her own island somewhere. I don't know the details, but I'm just saying truth has a way to like lay down with you and wake up with you. And just it's hard to just like in a movie it's kind of easy because you can direct the whole movie, but in real life, the intricacies of stuff. I mean, to me, logically, she knows some stuff about Epstein. Donald Trump knows some stuff about Epstein. The world watching them all have a conversation in real time today and in front of judges, that would reveal a lot of data that I just believe powers that be don't want coming out on high numbers. So that's all I'm saying. So hey, I wouldn't put it past nobody to do anything at any given time. But as long as I'm breathing, I'm like, I don't know if I got another day, another hour, 5 minutes, but at least let the record show we having a real conversation about real shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because that makes the devil's job a lot harder. Anyone trying to hide shit and fucking with little children and it makes it harder when more people know more. You know, there's an element in the dark, back alley, in the room, in the closet, in the office, but when the lights get on, people operate different. It's like roaches, they scatter. When you turn the lights on, everybody's scattering for the dark. But, hey, a lot of folks want the lights on right now on this earth, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Sweet. And see, one thing that I understand how a lot of people don't know, right? But, well, you saying that, right? Because you understand that just fuck all the money, right? Just the power of a man. A man, right now, if you still gave me a bunch of power, right? And there was no checks and balances on my power, right? I would feel like untouchable. That's show Donald Trump today. So he's going to eliminate anything, any threat, come up with anything, right, that's pertaining to him. No, we don't want that to come out at all. And for the person that said, oh, well, Donald Trump don't care what the hell, man, they brief that man on everything when he don't want to be briefed, okay? So let's not say that. Oh, yeah, he wondering, he want to know if she's on his side or their side. It's just that simple.
Exactly. And if she ain't on his side, or even if whatever she say, I think he has the type to say, this is the side you're going to be on from now on. And fuck me if you want to, but this is the side you're going to be on. You know, because again, he representing powers that he probably scared to be on the wrong side of. Whether it's the Pope or whoever. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I think power understand power. That's what I know. Some of us ain't invested in the bullshit. We know we gonna die. It's just a matter of when and how. I don't know that. But shit, when it's over with, it's over with. I don't know nobody getting off this planet alive. At some point, you're gonna have a date. At least let you stand on the side of like, damn it, this is what I know. Real, for real. And the rest, hey, y'all figure it out down the road. I don't know what to tell you, but I wasn't here with Martin Luther King and JFK, Jesus, and a lot of folks. But damn it, today, 2025? To just let shit post up all around you and don't say nothing? Let the record show. Fuck that. You take me today. But I don't want to be on the side of no bullshit. That's all I'm saying. They over here, ICE is over here and blaming, oh, well, these people were pedophiles. They were immigrants here messing with little children. Why are they saying that? Because the world has very little tolerance for you messing with babies, man. Oh, in the synagogue, I don't give a shit where you at. The world has, in the hood, and you get in jail, in fact, from what I understand, in the prison, oh, you like messing with little children? Oh, come on.
Right,
They gonna be here for 20, 30, 40, 50 years for life, for double life. Oh, you gonna be in here with us. You like playing with little children? I got children out there. Let me holler at you right quick. Oh, wait, don't worry about it. Don't worry. The guards know, too. Don't mess with us, because we finna talk to you, man. You like playing with little babies? Oh, that's what you do? Oh, okay. That's what I know. I don't know what y'all know. But playing with little children? Ooh, like the innocent little babies? Whether you Jesus lovers or God or Muhammad, I don't know. But it's something universal. And the mafia and everybody knows, don't mess with the babies, man. That's gonna be good for you. But you running around, that's what you do as a ritual, that's part of your get down, that's how you initiate people. The world wanna know, man, who are you? Reveal yourself, put a mask on.
Right, and then everybody's not always picking on you. So that killed me, right? How people say, "Oh, doesn't it?" Look, man, when a bunch of people is saying something, right? There is something. It's just that simple. Look, it may not be at the levitativity that you think it is, but it is something.
When it's smoke, there's
right. But there is smoke, there is fire. Man, it's just that simple. And the man tell you indirectly every day what that gangster he is. Right? Every day he tell you that. If the man said, "Oh man, y'all put all these cases on me, what you think y'all did Al Capone?" Well, hell, you want to be Al Capone, man. Or you think you're Al Capone? Shit.
Hey, you gotta respect the man that says, "I can do this on 5th Avenue in the middle of Times Square. I can't let nobody do shit to me." I respect that, homie. So, you got some real power backing you. Let's find out who that is. Damn, that's a bold dude to say, "You can't touch me." The people I know, boy, you can't harm me. You scared to talk about the people I know.
Hey, I call the people that ride up on the yacht, I call them the slave master's children. That's it. Yeah, they are the slave master's children. That's it, man, because they can't see anything, you know? Because when you sit there and thought that you're all the way up on the throne, even in the adolescent games and stuff, right? A king is not a king until they are dead. Yeah, even in the low-ranking gang shit, you are not a king until you are dead.
I remember at the rallies back in, I think it was 16 or whatever, when a little brother in the audience and somebody ran and saying something, man, back in the day, he said, back in the day, boy, we would handle you. Well, back in what day, Trump? We would take care of people like you. We would, but I can't do that today. But, sitting in the cold out there, everybody, boy, if it was the good old days, boy, we take care of people like
so let me play this clip. We're getting so far down the road here. Let me play this clip so we can get back on it, because I don't know what's on this clip, like I said, but we're getting ready to find out. This is when he was sitting in the Oval Office with the president of the Philippines. So I have no idea what he said about Obama or whatever, but we're going to go and suss it out real quick. So let me get my speaker together. Thank you, everybody, for joining the room today. We're talking about, if you just came in here, we're talking about the connection between what's going on with Jocelyn. It's so big. Don't think it's a nothing burger. They shut down Washington, D.C. and sent everybody home not to talk about this woman and her connection with Trump. Not for them to stop talking about this woman and her connection with Trump. But they will be going to see her while everybody's on vacation. I guess Pam Bundy's going to get her ass up there and try to make sure she don't say nothing that's going to implicate Trump, or Jocelyn's going to tell her, you can go to hell, I'm going to spill my guts, and y'all better work something out and send me back over across the board. So let's see what it says. Okay. It's a commercial, so hold on one quick for this commercial.
Triple down on it. So, all right. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. of the Philippines, a great family legacy. and highly respected in this country. I know that because I have many friends in the Philippines. And there's great respect, or I couldn't say it, so congratulations. We're going to be talking about trade. We're going to be talking about war and peace. They're a very important nation militarily, and we've had some great drills lately. We're back with them. I think I can say that the last administration was not getting along with them too well. They didn't get along with anybody. They didn't know. Honestly, they didn't know what they were doing. But we have some fantastic military relationships with the Philippines, and that's been reinstituted. And Pete, I would say that you couldn't be happier, right, with the relationship. So I just want to say it's an honor to have you. We're going to talk about trade today, and we're very close to finishing a trade deal, big trade deal actually. And we do a lot of business with you. It's a lot of income coming in for both groups. But I was surprised to see the kind of numbers. They're very big, and they're going to get bigger under what we're doing and what we're proposing. And I just want to thank you for being with us. It's a great honor. You and your representatives. It's really a great honor. We have a big announcement. AstraZeneca, the big drug company, is going to spend $50 billion, just announced $50 billion in the United States in order to build various places all over the country, big manufacturing plants, pharmaceutical plants all over the country. So that's an honor. And he said they did that because of the election and because of the fact that the tariffs are placed. So they're building their facilities in New York. $50 billion, that's a big investment. And it's going to be a very good investment. I have no doubt about it. So thank you to AstraZeneca. And with that, I'd like to have you say a few words, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Of course, we're all very happy to be here to once again reaffirm the very strong tie.
I'm going to fast forward.
Of the United States.
Thanks, and they build buildings for people that think, and it's really not thinking. It's a little bit of combination of thinking, but it's something you sort of have or you don't have. They don't. The job he's done is just terrible. He ought to raise interest rates. You know, we should be at 1%. We should be leading the world. Instead, we're paying 4%. And if you look at what that means, that's over $1 trillion in interest that we have to pay. That with the striking of a pen, we would be saving more than $1 trillion. Is that right, Scott? Do you have anything to say about it?
Yes, sir. I called yesterday and this morning for the Fed to do a big internal investigation.
Well, we have a lot of meetings possible. President Xi has invited me to China, and we'll probably be doing that in the not too distant future, a little bit out, but not too distant. And I've been invited by a lot of people, and we'll make those decisions pretty soon.
Well, as you say, it's something that we have to do in any case.
Mr. President, do you support the Justice Department seeking an interview with Mike Maxwell to urge the Attorney General to see?
I don't know anything about it. They're going to what? Meet her?
Your Deputy Attorney General is reached out to Mike Maxwell's attorney asking for an interview.
Yeah, I don't know about it, but I think it's something that sounds appropriate to do.
Do you think it's a your Deputy Attorney General? Maybe they don't like you because you're a attorney.
No, I have no concern. He's a very talented person. He's very smart. I didn't know that they were going to do it. I don't really follow that too much. It's sort of a witch hunt, just a continuation of the witch hunt. The witch hunt that you should be talking about is they caught President Obama absolutely cold, Tulsi Gabbard. What they did to this country in 2016, starting in 2016, but going up to 2020 in the election, and they tried to rig the election, and they got caught. And there should be very severe consequences for that. You know, when we caught Hillary Clinton, I said, you know what? Let's not go too far here. It's the ex-wife of a president, and I thought it was sort of terrible. I let her off the hook, and I'm very happy I did. But it's time to start after what they did to me, and
whether it's right or wrong, it's time to go after people. Obama's been caught directly. So people say, oh, a group. It's not a group. It's Obama. His orders are on the paper. The papers are signed. The papers came right out of their office. They sent everything to be highly classified. Well, the highly classified's been released. And what they did in 2016 and in 2020 is very criminal. It's criminal at the highest level. So that's really the things you should be talking about. I know nothing about the other, but I think it's appropriate that they do go.
Nothing, Mr. President. Tulsi Gabbard has submitted a criminal referral to the Department of Justice. From your perspective, who should the DOJ target as part of their investigation? What specific figures in the Obama administration?
Well, based on what I read, and I read pretty much what you read, it would be President Obama. He started it. And Biden was there with him. And Comey was there. And Clapper, the whole group was there. Brennan, they were all there in a room. Right here. This is the room. This is much more beautiful than it was then, but that's okay. I have nice pictures up. They came out of the vaults. They were in there for 100 years. This is much more beautiful. We have the Declaration of Independence now in the room, which wasn't here. I guess people didn't feel too good about putting it here, but I do. But you know what? If you look at those papers, they have them stone cold, and it was President Obama. It wasn't lots of people all over the place. It was them too. But the leader of the gang was President Obama, Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? And except for the fact that he gets shielded by the press for his entire life, that's the one look, he's guilty. It's not a question. I like to say, let's give it time. It's there. He's guilty. This was treason. This was every word you could think of. They tried to steal the election. They tried to obfuscate the election. They did things that nobody's ever even imagined, even in other countries. You've seen some pretty rough countries. This man has seen some pretty rough countries, but you've never seen anything like it. And we have all of the documents. And from what Tulsi told me, she's got thousands of additional documents coming. So President Obama, it was his concept, his idea, but he also got it from crooked Hillary Clinton. Crooked is a $3 bill. Hillary Clinton and her group, the Democrats, spent $12 million to Christopher Steele to write up a report that was a total fake report. Took 2 years to figure that out, but it came out that it was a total fake report. It was made up fiction. And they used that. The one thing they weren't able to do was and probably the only thing I respect about the press in years is the press refused to write it before the election. They refused to put it in. The Steele report was a disaster. All lies, all fabrication, all admitted fraud. She paid $12 million at the Democrats for that report to a wise guy named Chris reported before the election. And I'll tell you what, I talk about all the time, the fake news, how bad it is. But in this case, they wouldn't do it. They saw it, they read it, and they said, we don't believe it. And it was only substantially, like a month and a half after the election, that it got printed, and it was a big wisp. It was just like a bang of nothing, because the election had ended. If that report had gotten published by the New York Times or somebody, and I respect the Times for maybe only this, because they're crooked as you can be. They're a terrible paper, a crooked, corrupt paper. But for this one moment, they said, this is bullshit. We can't put this in. And neither could any other paper. Wall Street Journal's a lousy paper, very, very dishonest paper. As you see, I'm suing them for a lot of money because they.
Anybody that disagrees with us.
It's got a nice name, but it's really, in my opinion, it's a terrible paper, and it can be corrupt. But just so you know, they didn't take the Steele report. It was the dossier. Remember the famous dossier? I call it the fake news dossier. The news wouldn't publish it. And I'm amazed. They had 2.5 months. It was finished. 2.5 months. That was supposed to be what was going to happen. And it got published a couple of months after the election. And frankly, nobody cared too much about it. But that was the big thing. No, we caught Hillary Clinton. We caught Barack Hussein Obama. They're the ones, and then you have many, many people under them. Susan Rice, they're all there. The names are all there. And I guess they figured they're going to put this in classified information and nobody will ever see it again, but it doesn't work that way. And it's the most unbelievable thing I think.